Hi friends, I'm Chelsea and welcome to my channel Travel Knits. This is the place on the internet where I like to document and share my knitting adventures, makes, all the crafty stuff, and at the end I also like to share some life updates and chatty things if we end up having time. I do know that I've had a couple new subscribers come to the channel, and I want to thank you so much for doing so and welcome. I hope that you enjoy the content. And then those of you who are returning, thanks for sharing your time with me talking about all the nitty things. We have a lot to talk about today. Oh, before I forget what I'm wearing the Cherry Genser by Sandnes Garn. You can't even see it because I'm so close to the camera, but I'll stand up. It's the Cherry Genser by Sandnes Garn. It's a kind of boat neck, looser gauge, mid-length summer sweater. I knit it in Sandnes Garn Line in different colors. The main color is the Kitt, or like beige, light beige color. And then all the stripes are, I can't remember what colors they are, but I have that information on my Ravelry, which will be in the description below if you are interested in whatever those colors were. Okay, so what I was wearing, and then what was I going to say? Oh, I have a lot to go over today. It's been a minute since I did a regular podcast. So I have 4-ish finished objects to cover. And then I have a regular whip parade because I have become the cast on queen for some weird reason. I've just been casting on everything, and I have so many ambitious plans for the end of summer, and I know that they're going to have to migrate to the fall, or they will be hibernated till next summer. But I really hope that I can have an inkling of discipline to get some of these done because I've just been so bad. Let's go ahead and talk about the finished objects. So I think I talked about this object in my first podcast, but I was seeing this pattern everywhere, and it's the ballerina tabby slippers. And here they are. I did make these. This was a plan, and I did make them, as you see. I knit this in Sandnes Garn Fritidsgarn in the color pink, cherry blossom pink. I'll put it on the screen and below. And I also put some anti-slip track pad stuff on it that I bought online. Really inexpensive and easy to apply. And so far it's been working pretty well. So here are the two slippers. It's a really easy pattern, knit up really quick. These two slippers were one skein of the Fritidsgarn, and I actually have, here's the yarn. Oh, I have the color right here. Hi. The color is Rosa, color 4715. So that question has been answered. Yay. Yeah, so it was an easy pattern. I think my review of it would be very straightforward, easy, beginner friendly. I think my only thing is if I make it again, I would, I think the sides of the slippers ended up being kind of low and not really gripping around my foot very well as the heel. So I think I maybe over felted because at one point I just was not getting them to shrink. So I put them through maybe way too many times in the dryer, and then maybe didn't mold them to my feet very well. So as a fix for that, I threaded an elastic band through the whole opening on both, and I wore them around like that for a while. And then after I wore them for a while like that, I found that they were too restrictive. So then I took it out, and I feel like maybe that cinched it up or something, or made it somehow a little bit tighter because they're wearing a little bit better now. So I don't know if I'd make it again because you'll see in another project, I think I found maybe something better. I don't know how practical these are for me because as fun as a felted slipper is, they really pick up a lot of dirt. Like, I don't know if you can see this. I feel bad even showing this, but they're pretty dirty already. And I have puppies. I have 3 puppies, and I just feel like they're bringing in so much dirt, especially my littlest one who's actually a puppy. And I feel like I'm a Swiffer when I'm wearing these. So, secondary benefit is that I'm cleaning up the floors when I wear them, but that wasn't really what I wanted them for. So that's finished object number 1. Trying to think if there's anything I forgot to say about that. If you have any questions about the project that I did, or if you made them yourself and have any tips about how better to felt them or make them stay up on the heel and hug you around the side of your foot, that would be welcome. Okay, I think I can move on to the next item, which I am calling a finished object, but there's only one finished. So it's kind of related to the last project. But this is the double slippers, also by Sandnes Garn. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. And these are for my partner. And I have the yarn here. I can tell you what. I also knit this in Sandnes Garn Fritidsgarn. And this is the color 6364, whatever. Oh, the name is Blueprint, 6364 Blueprint. So that was the colorway. And I was inspired to do this pattern by the podcaster Mostly Knitting. Her name is Tash. I love her podcast. And she was making the double slippers, and I was just like, this sounds so much fun, and it's a free pattern, and I really like how the finished object looked. I'm doing a really bad job of showing this to you. I feel like I'm too close to the camera. Maybe if I back up a little bit. But yeah, so I had already purchased this yarn to make tabby slippers for my partner. But then when I heard Tasha's podcast talking about this pattern, I did a pivot and whipped up one of these to kind of see how that would go. I'm making the size, oh gosh, what size am I making? I'll put it on the screen. I don't remember. I feel like it was 7, and I'm knitting it with US 9s. Yeah, I think so, but I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. What was I saying? Yeah, I think the only thing for me is I had a hard time picturing how this was going to work structurally, because you knit 2 slippers and then you slip them inside of each other. And I am not very good at any kind of geometry or manipulation of figures in my head. So let me just quickly show you. Let me just put this here. I don't know how well this is going to capture sound if I do this, but let's do that. And then, okay, I'm just going to quickly show you. So if you pull the slipper out, this is what you end up knitting. Like a little, looks like a tooth. So you knit one slipper, and then you cast on middle stitches, and then you knit up another one, and then you seam in the middle part where you slip it through, and then you felt it like this, and then when you're done, you just slip it inside. Isn't that cool? That's so cool, and it's free. So what a fun pattern. Yeah, so where I am with this project is I ran out of yarn. This took about 2.5 skeins for whatever size I'm doing. And quickly fix this. And so I had to place a yarn order, and I was waiting on that. The yarn order came in yesterday, so I will be casting on the second one imminently and finishing these up for my partner. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I'll put the sticky trackpad stuff on the bottom of these, or if I will also I don't know, some of the projects that I saw on Ravelry, they took like a piece of leather and actually just whip stitched it on the bottom as a track pad padding. I'm not sure if I want to do that, so we'll see. I may just have him wear them normal and see how he does on our wood floors. He might just go flying, slipping around, but yeah, so we'll see. But I'm calling this a finished object because I finished one. That's how we roll around here. I mean, you should, when I knit socks, if I finish one sock, that's a finished object for me, because I may not start the second one. And yeah, I'm calling it a finished object, okay? Okay, moving on. The next finished object is the mesh bandana, and this is by Colourway by Joanna Garish, I believe. And this was really viral on my Instagram and was showing up all over the front page of Ravelry for me. So here she is. I've really got to figure out a better way to hold my microphone and still show people things. But here is the bandana. What I like about it, unlike some other bandanas I've seen, is it has a thicker tie band. And how she styled it in her photos, I'll put it up here, is she ties it around her waist as a different way to wear it as opposed to just wearing it on your head. But I thought that was really cute. And I knit this out of some scraps that I had from a really inexpensive yarn that I bought online when it was first starting to knit. And it's just been sitting in my stash. So I held it double. And I really like it. I like the color that I picked because it kind of goes with everything. And I have been wearing this on my head. I haven't been wearing it as a headscarf. I haven't been wearing it on my hips because I feel like I'm not cool enough to do that. It just doesn't, I don't know. I found some pants that it kind of works with, but when I put it on, I just felt like silly, even though it looked like the picture. But I don't know if you guys experience that where, I mean, it's kind of the same with the headscarf too when I put them on, which I'll put this on right now so you can see it. Can I just do this? Is that weird? That's a DPN. I'm just sticking it through my knit here. Okay. But this is what it looks like on my hair. Gracious. And then sort of tie it in the back. But there's that sort of peasanty look. But it's cute. It's a cute pattern. Very easy repeat. And after I finished it, I immediately cast on another one with some knitting for olive merino that I have left over, which is a whip. But I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not going to talk about it further in the whip section because it has been shelved because I'm doing a million other whips, as you'll see. So that's that finished object. I would recommend the pattern. It is fun. If you're looking for something quicker to whip up here at the end of the summer, I would definitely recommend it. Okay, that's that one. And let's see. The next finished object is a baby knit for my niece. And so I've been knitting her lots of things because I'm discovering that baby knits are really fun because they knit up so fast. So I knit this object. This is the Jacques Dress Junior. This is going to be what we're doing here. This is probably really weird. This is the Jacques Dress Junior. And I'm totally blanking on who designed this. Am I getting them mixed up? Wait a second. The mesh bandana, I think, is by someone else. And I think this Jacques dress is by Colourway. I will correct myself if I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. I thought I had that in my notes, but I in fact do not. So anyway, here's the finished object. It's a really cute striped little dress. And what I love, love, love about it this detail is how it has the horizontal stripes, and then on the cuff and on the hem, there are vertical stripes. I think that's such a cool detail. I also think that the neckline turned out really well, and you see I put my little tag that says "Made with Love" by Chelsea. So this will be for her. I knit the 6 to 9 month size, and she is, I believe, 4.5 months old now. So I may wait just a tad before I give this to her. But here's the back if you'd like to see. But yeah, it's so cute and very fun. I knit this out of Sandnes Garn Double Sunday in the colors I will put on the screen for you. And this will go into the acquisitions section of the podcast, but I knit this with 2 colorways of Double Sunday that I bought at the Yarn Hop, the Wine Country Yarn Hop, that I'll talk about at the end. But so I've used up these 2 acquisitions. I couldn't help it. I had to cast on with these almost immediately when I got home with my yarn. But what I also love about this yarn color combo is that it kind of looks like a biscuit with some frosting or like a strawberry flavor to it. I don't know if this is picking up very well on screen, but it's like a graham cracker brown. It kind of looks green on the screen to me, but it's a graham cracker brown with a strawberry pink color next to it. And I'm no color coordinating person. Like, I'm really bad at picking colors and finding things that complement each other. But I thought these went well. So hopefully she likes it. Hopefully her mom likes it. And my sister will dress her in it. But yeah, so this was a finished object. I definitely recommend the pattern. This is a cute little dress, knits up really, really fast. Calls for a DK weight, and I believe I used the recommended needle size. But yeah, baby knits are where it's at. I'm telling you. I mean, you want some finished objects that are a garment, not an accessory. Find someone with a baby and use up your stash. Anyway, yeah, so that's that one. Okay, and then my last last finished object was a summer shirt for my partner. And my goal was to finish this and have him wear it while we were on holiday 2.5 weeks ago in Hawaii. I was finishing it up while we were there. And let me just go ahead and show it to you. Here it is. And I really can't remember. I think in my summer knitting plans video, I talk about wanting to cast this on. But this is the Slatter Tee. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I am putting detailed notes of what I did on my Ravelry page. I still need to finish those up, but I did make some modifications just because my partner's torso size he has a pretty long torso compared to the rest of his body. So I had to modify how many raglan increases I actually did before I split for sleeves. I'm also calling this a finished object, but I am sort of cheating because in order to finish the project before we left the island and finished our vacation, I was trying as hard as I could to, sorry, dogs are barking outside and I'm not sure what's going on. Just making sure it's not my dog's like doing something they're not supposed to or being hurt. So everything seems like it's okay. Okay, so distractions and interruptions hopefully done. What I was saying was I was just racing to the finish while we were still on island on vacation to finish this. And you'll see that the pattern calls for a double fold on the sleeves and on the collar and on the hem. But the hem I cheated and I just cast off so that he could wear it and I could get pictures. However, my partner was doing some diving, some scuba diving, and it just worked out that when I finished, he was out for a dive, and basically I wasn't able to get the pictures that I really wanted of him while we were on the island in good light, because by the time he was finished diving, it was night, and then we left early in the morning, so I didn't exactly get the pictures that I wanted, but I'll put some pictures up of me of this shirt after I steam blocked it at the hotel, and hopefully I'll get some B footage of him wearing it so I can put it here in the video. But if I don't, this is what it looks like. I've tried it on and I really like it as well, so I may steal it some. One thing I was worried about as well as I was making it was there was some bubbling here and here on the sides of the collar, and I think it's pretty much resolved now that I've steam blocked it, but you can see there was a little bit of like where I picked up like and where the short rows were that maybe had a little bit of bunching, but I'm hoping with wear and the weight of the garment it will just sort of loosen out. Oh, and then the yarn, which I have here. I used Blue Sky Fibers Organic Cotton Sport in the color Sky, number 216 Sky. It's this bleached off-white blue, and he loves blue, so this was the perfect color for him. And yeah, I think he likes it. He has worn it around the house a couple times, and I think it's shaping up really nice. I'm calling it finished, but if I'm being true to myself, I really am not going to feel like it's done until I go back and do the double fold on the hem, because I really did cheat. And I think it'll just look a lot more finished and professional if I go ahead and do that. But I think I'll have him wear it a little bit more to make sure that he's completely comfortable with where the armpit cutoff is, and that it's hitting him where he wants it before I go and do the hem, because if I go back and do that, there ain't no way I'm doing it a second time. So that's a one and done type situation. So we're going to make sure he actually likes it. Okay, so that is that finished object. What else? Those are my finished objects. So now I can move into my whip parade. Starting with my first whip. The vision for this, for my summer knitting plans, was I wanted a summer beach swim cover-up. And I picked the Look at My Holes Boxy by James N. Watts. And this is a very loose gauge, like mesh lace pattern. And I cast this on with really high hopes. I really did. And it was fun starting out because my sister and I, we were buddy knitting it, which implies that it's not done for her either, which is true. This has been a journey, but anyway, okay, so let me just show you what we're doing here. This is where we're at. It looks like a fishnet, but basically you knit two panels of this mesh lace, and then you join them, and then there's like this like stockinette panel that joins here. And what's going to happen is, I'm trying to even remember because it's been a minute since I've even picked this up. So I'm knitting to the bottom, and then you do ribbing here at the bottom, and then you come back up here to the top, you seam the top, and so it's going to sit like this. I mean, I'll show you the picture on the side, but I'll seam up the shoulders, and then it will hang like that. And then you pick up the shoulders, and there's a little bit of twisted rib on either on the shoulders. But this, well, really quick, so I'm knitting it in Sirdar Snuggly Baby Bamboo. This is a 80% bamboo, viscose and 20% wool blend. I've used so far 3 50-gram balls, and I have one left, so I really hope that's going to be enough to finish this. But yeah, so this has been a journey. I don't know what adjective I would use to describe the pattern, but I would not say it's easy or intuitive. I am not enjoying the pattern. I think it's just funny because my sister and I were joking that we were almost set up for failure, because as you're reading the pattern, and not to give away the pattern, but like there's a whole paragraph in there outlining common pitfalls, and just the way that it's worded is kind of funny, because I just feel like my sister and I were joking because it felt as if, like, if we hadn't known about those like being outlined like that, maybe they wouldn't have all happened to us. And that's totally probably user error. No shade to the designer. I don't think it was necessarily anything to do with the pattern. Maybe it was just attention to detail, which I do get very distracted when I'm doing knits like this, because it's just very repetitive and a lot of yarn overs. And particularly one pitfall is when you're doing like some kind of special decrease and then yarn over and do that like until, asterisk to asterisk, and you just keep doing that. I think one common problem that I believe I was making, or mistake I was making, was doing the increase, getting to the end of the row and not doing the yarn over to complete it before doing whatever knit at the end. And vice versa, maybe adding a yarn over when I wasn't supposed to. Certainly was doing that. You can see, I don't even want to show you, but like on the knitted panel here on the side, that one looks okay. But this one, where did it go? This one. What is going on here? Oh no, no. And my sister, we were both, it was just funny because we were just like knitting this while on our holiday, trying to finish it so we could wear it by the pool. That was the goal. And we just kept making mistakes. And particularly here, we were like coming to the end of the row and we're just saying, well, that sucks. Look at my holes, Boxy. Look at them. And there would be all kinds of holes going on where they're not supposed to be. But that aside, again, I don't think it's necessarily the pattern. I think it might be me, and I'm okay with that. But this has been tabled for a bit because I didn't finish it on holiday, and I'm not really feeling inspired by it anymore. And summer is slowly coming to a close. I really should power through and finish it, but I just don't feel inspired to. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. But just quickly about the yarn, though, this was an acquisition from the Wine Country Yarn Hop, as well as the double Sunday that I talked about before with the Jacques Dress Junior. And I'm really liking knitting with it. It's not as soft and slippery as the 100% bamboo that I made my petite pointelle top out of, because it's 80%, not 100%, but it has, you can feel the wool content in it, so it's a little bit more, I don't know, like a little bit more rustic, like a little bit more toothy, which made it easier to kind of work with and grab hold of. So I liked that. I do like the yarn. Hopefully I have enough to finish this, but I don't know when I'm finishing this. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I need to be disciplined, but we all know that that's probably not what's going to happen. So there's that one. Okay, and then the next one that I cast on was part of my summer plans as well. And it was to make a summer cardigan, a light breezy cardigan that I could put over like a really casual outfit, or also dress up in an evening. So I cast on the lacy loop cardigan, and here we have a back panel and a front panel. So she's going to look like this, sort of. And I'm knitting the size small, and I'm using Sandnes Garn Line in the color Morning Mist, which, tell me if I'm being crazy, but I feel like this is the same color as the Kitt, or light beige, but I'd never seen it called Morning Mist before, or even labeled like this. And I'm just wondering if this was like a special like batch or colorway, or if this is, I don't know. I'm a little bit confused why it's called Morning Mist, because it looks exactly like, I think I have it here actually. I think this was the Line that I had left over that was Kitt. Am I crazy? Maybe slightly different. I don't know. If you guys know anything about Morning Mist, I'd be curious to know if that's its own separate colorway, if it got like renamed. Anyway, that's what I'm using. And yeah, this pattern is so far fairly straightforward. I was a little bit worried when I started knitting it, because I had read through pretty extensively the comments in the projects, and I was noticing that a lot of people were saying, yeah, there were, errors in different parts of the repeats of different panels. So going into it, I was like, I'm going to be really vigilant, and I was starring different areas of the pattern where people had said, hey, look out, there's maybe an error here. But man, on this front panel, I got so confused, like so confused. And I just think the pattern could be written a little bit better. It's just not intuitively written, or maybe it's a translation thing. But without giving away the pattern, it was basically, the pattern was essentially asking me to, gosh, how do I put this? To do a 16 row repeat, but within that 16 row repeat, every other row do an increase at certain intervals, at a certain, every second row do a certain increase somewhere. And I don't know why, but like the way that it was written, I could not figure out that that's what it was asking me to do. And I tried so many different things to try and get the correct count at the end for how many, stitches I should have at the end. I did it many, many times, ripped out many, many times to get that. Anyway, it'll all be in my notes, because I really do want to help clarify that. Just, vaguely mention, on the front panel for this size, by the way, this is what the designer means, because I found it confusing, but maybe another person wouldn't. It could be just a skill issue. But yeah, so far it's been mostly smooth sailing. I got really hung up there though for a minute, and then it made me want to just take a break after I finished the front panel. So I need to pick up the left panel and get started on it again, because there is a lot of purling. So that's not very fun for me. And I don't know how quickly this will get done, but I do love the results so far. I think it's so pretty. Oh, that's the wrong side. It's such a pretty stitch pattern. And I have this cute little stitch marker, which I got on holiday on Maui. Cute little wooden flower. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see, I talked about the yarn, the pattern. Yeah, I think we'll see how it goes. I definitely do want to finish this before, hopefully by mid-September I would have it done, but I don't want to put anything in writing, because you can't hold me to it if it's not in writing. Yeah, so that's that one. But yeah, I wasn't imminently planning to cast this on, but I just did one day, and now I'm like committed. So yeah, I'm just casting on a lot of things right now and not finishing things, but this is this one. Okay, and my latest cast on whip is the Frankie Sweater Junior. Here it is. And this was literally the most impromptu cast on I think I've ever done. This is made all with a lot of scraps, and I have just been craving stripes. Like, I keep seeing so many stripes. Particularly, I really want to knit the Nantucket sweater by Ozetta because, side note, I've been watching on Peacock the 5-Star Weekend show. I think it got renewed for another season, but anyway, it has Jennifer Garner in it, and they're on Nantucket, and it just gives this really cool like island feel, luxury island. And anyway, I've been wanting to knit stripes, so I was like, how about we do a little, I've been wanting to do another baby knit after the Jacques dress, and so I was like, let me just combine the two, and then I'll get that fast knit fix plus stripes. So this has been so fun. This is a pattern by Petite Knit. I don't think I said that. And it has this very natural, just stockinette collar, and then it has the stripes, which are a one stitch stripe with 3 stitches in between all the way down. And then on the sleeve and the cuff, you have some ribbing and then stockinette to get that curled edge. And it looks so cute. The baby knits, man, they're just hitting right now. It's so cute. So I'm using a lot of different colors. It's a DK weight pattern. So I doubled up some beige and white yarn, holding double 2-fingering weight yarns. And then there's some double Sunday in here. There's some Purl Soho linen quill minis that I have that, if you remember from my last podcast, I'm supposed to be making the incredible blanket by Purl Soho with that yarn, but I needed a bunch of different colors, and I'm bored with that blanket, so I'm just using it for this. And if I need more of the minis to finish the blanket, if and when I ever get to that, I'll just have to wait till it goes on sale again and get some more, because the colors were just working for this. So, and this color sequence, I actually was inspired by one of the pictures on Petite Knit's Ravelry page for this project. So I kind of just followed the same sequence, and I'm pretty happy with the result. I feel that I probably could have split up the purple and the yellow and this turquoise, maybe, because it's feeling a little bit like Eastery through here, and I don't want it to be Eastery. I also think I could have used a stronger purple. This was a double Sunday perfect purple leftover that I have, and I really wanted to use it, but I don't think it was as vibrant as I was hoping. But yeah, so this is the Frankie Sweater Junior. I really love the pattern. I should have said this before, it's a raglan construction. I'm sure you can tell anyway. And I'm knitting the size 4 to 6 months. And yeah, I finished the sleeve this morning. I finished the body last night, and then I'm going to finish the other sleeve hopefully today, and that will be done. Yeah, so that's that one. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I'm going to try to put all the colors that I used in my stripes on my Ravelry page, but I'm pretty lazy when it comes to, like with this Cherry Genser, putting the different colors. I think I did that, but I'll have to go back and see. Yeah, but that's that project, and I'm really enjoying it. Stripes are so fun. They're so potato chippy, and it's just really scratching an itch right now. I have other lingering whips that you'll recall if you saw the last podcast. I'm not going to go over those because I really haven't done anything on them. Those are my active whips right now, and I think we're just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to drag you through the mud with me on the others. I think at this point, I'm going to move on to acquisitions and future plans so that we can cover that. And I kind of want to also tie in some of the life updates and chatty stuff, because some of the acquisitions have to do with, well, all the acquisitions have to do with some experiences that I've had. So let's move on to acquisitions and future plans. Okay, so I'm moving into the life update chatty time of the podcast. So if you made it to this point and you were just here for the knitting, feel free to step away. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really enjoyed having you here. The first thing I want to talk about is the Wine Country Yarn Hop that I went to with my sister. That was on the weekend of August 19. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We went on the last day. And basically, it's like a yarn crawl. There were 5 different yarn stores that were involved. And each of the stores had its own raffle for a basket prize full of knitting goodies. And then there was a grand prize that was this huge basket of goodies. And what was really cool, and honestly, I thought was the best part, was at the beginning, whichever yarn store you went to, you could buy a tote bag. And on the tote bag are outlines of different pins you can collect at each of the yarn stores, who each have a different pin to collect. And it was the funnest, like most dopamine hit thing to do. Was after we went to every yarn store, we would clamber back into the car with all of our yarn purchases in our special tote bag. And then we would unwrap our little enamel pin and pin it on our bag. So let me just show you what the bag looks like really quick. It's the cutest thing. So this is the Yarn Hop bag. Isn't it cute? And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, 6 slots. There was the top pin, the Yarn Hop pin you could just buy and to complete the bag, but each of these was a different yarn shop. So you can see here underneath the pin, how do I show you? There's like a little like outline for where the pin goes. And then we would unwrap our enamel pins and put it on there and just complete it as we were going to each shop. And the first shop that we went to was actually the furthest in Ukiah. And it was, I think, the cutest one, which is the bunny. So we went and got that one first. We wanted to make sure that we hit the furthest yarn store and made sure we got all of them. So, I mean, if you didn't get all of them, that would be so sad. But I do know that at the end of the yarn hop, they were offering the full set for, I don't even know how much, but it was for sale. But I think, yeah, if you could collect them during the hop, it was pretty fun. And I just love how on board all the yarn stores were with the whole idea. You know, when you walked in, they were like, "Oh, are you hopping?" You know, okay, well, here's where you need to sign in for the raffle. And they were just all the yarn shops did a great job. I was really impressed by them, like their involvement. And so acquisitions, of course, other than the tote, which I love the tote. I want to carry the tote, but I'm afraid to lose the enamel pins. So if I carry it, I think I will take them off. That would be tragic. So that's the tote. And then one of the first purchases I made was the special colorway at the first yarn store. Pearls of Joy was the name of the yarn store. I'll put all the names of the yarn stores that were involved in the yarn hop below, but this was their special colorway for the yarn hop, and it is called Summer Sunset, and it's this beautiful purple pink colorway, and it was hand dyed by Comfort and Joy Yarn Company. There's the little tag, but it's so beautiful, and I think it could be really fun one skein scarf, yeah, like a scarf probably it could be, or a little shawlette. So that was really cute, and I had to get one. I mean, it was dyed specially for the yarn crawl. Yarn hop. I had to. So that's that one. I got it in fingering, and it's does it say 100 grams fingering weight, 75% merino, 25% nylon. So yeah, that's the first one. And then I already talked about the bamboo yarn that I got that I'm doing the look at my holes boxy. And puppies want inside the room, so give me 1 second. I've had a minor interruption. We have puppies on the prowl. Puppies, come here. You want to come say hi? We have a puppy sighting. Hello, puppy. You want to say hi to the people? They hate it when I close the door. If you close the door, immediately they want in whatever room, even though they weren't interested before. So, but this is the little one. This is the crazy girl. She looks docile, but she is fierce. Yeah, you're a good girl, though. I love you. Okay, go play, okay? All right, where was I? Yes, so I got that bamboo yarn, making the look at my holes boxy with that. And then the next purchase I made was some knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color soft mint. It's a beautiful washed out green. And I bought this for my sister, not the sister that was with me on the yarn hop, the next sister down. So I haven't talked about this, but I'm one of 5 kids, 4 girls, 1 boy, boy being the youngest. So one sister down is the one that was on the yarn hop with me. 2 sisters down is the one that I bought this for. So she also has learned to knit for me. She doesn't knit as much as my other sister does, but we wanted her to be able to come on the yarn hop with us, and she couldn't. So wanted to pick her up something fun to remember it by. So that's that one. I've never knit with the cotton merino before. My sister who was with me on the yarn hop has, and she really recommended it. So that's definitely something I need to try. It feels really good. Yeah, I think that would be really fun to do as a summer yarn, maybe next summer. Okay, and then the last purchase that I made on the yarn hop was Biche Bouche Le Petit Lamb's Wool. I've been wanting to get a hold of a skein of this for so long, but it's really hard to find, at least for me, and not pay crazy shipping. So it's 100% lamb's wool. This is a 50-gram ball. This is the color medium blue, bleu moyenne. Yeah, and it's kind of like a jean color blue. And I'm thinking a little shawlette scarf with this. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I think I need to cast on with this maybe imminently because I need it for a gift. But that was that purchase. And yeah, so what else do I want to say about the yarn hop? Just, and I also bought the double Sunday for the Jacques dress junior that I already talked about in those 2 colors, of which I cannot remember the names of, but I will have put down below for you. The last thing that I knit, yes, this was a big thing. So how could I forget this? Part of the yarn hop was if you knit a bunny, you could knit or crochet or sew a bunny. And if you did, you would get an extra raffle ticket at each location. And then if you tagged your bunny on Instagram, you would get entered for a special prize or an extra entry for the grand prize. So literally my sister and I were not planning to do this because we just didn't want to be bothered with it. But then at like 3 a.m. before the event, we decided we became possessed and wanted to do it. So we made these. Don't laugh. Okay. It was one of the free suggested patterns on the event website. And it's just this like triangle, like knit triangle that you make that you then fold in on itself and seam and it turns into a bunny. And I mean, come on now. You can barely tell that's a bunny. I know. I'm not blind. It's bad. I mean, when you compare it to like my other bunny, I mean, so yeah, I made this. My sister made one too, and we entered them and we got our extra raffles. So that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what it looked like. It was really funny because the people at the stores were like, "Oh yeah, you knit a bunny. That's good." They would, they weren't patronizing. They were very sweet. They're like, "Oh, they're so cute," and we're like, "No, no, they're not. But can we get the extra raffle?" And then it was really cool because at one of the yarn shops, they even had, I'll put a picture up, but they even had like a little photo shoot set up with the yarn bunny that had been knit up for the yarn hop positioned there so that you could take a picture with the yarn hop bunny and your bunnies with him. So I'll put that picture up there. But yeah, so this was the other thing that happened with that event. Overall, it was such a fun time. That's the first time I've done an event like that, a crawl or a hop. And I would definitely do it again. It was so, so fun. And I'm hoping I can do a similar one, or I may do the Wine Country Yarn Hop again. Sadly, we didn't win any raffles and no prizes, but it was still such a good time. I mean, honestly, the tote bag and the pins, that was enough. Like, that was everything to me. And my sister and I had so much fun. It was just such a great bonding time. So it was really, really, really fun. Meanwhile, while I'm filming this, Beignet is eating a skein of yarn that has fallen on the ground. So sad. Okay, I keep thinking that interruptions will be over, but yeah, one of my project bags fell on the ground and Beignet unpacked it for me. So thank you. I'll have to untangle that all later. What was I talking about? We just finished the yarn hop. Yes. So next I wanted to talk about the acquisitions that I acquired while we were on holiday in Maui. So I'll put pictures up as well, but apparently this yarn store that we went to is the only yarn store in all the islands of Hawaii. That, I believe, was very hard to believe, but I mean, Google says. And the yarn store was called Stitch by Stitch, and met the owner. She was great. She was so fun, very friendly and sweet and helpful. And she told us that she actually just opened her store in December of last year. So not only is it the only yarn store in Hawaii, but it's very recently opened. So I don't know what the deal is there, but maybe there's like a really big need. Maybe some of us need to go open yarn stores in Hawaii. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine being on a different island and not having a yarn store. But anyway, yeah, called Stitch by Stitch, and it's the cutest building. It's in the cutest little park. It used to be a sugarcane plantation, and there's just little shops dotted amongst the plantation, the remnants of the machinery. And it is the cutest little shop. And in the back of it, there's a little alcove, balcony, patio, that's the word, with some little chairs where you can just knit and chill out and enjoy the scenery. So it's just so cute. Inside as well, they had a great selection of hand-dyed yarns, local yarns from Hawaiian dyers, and they also had Sandnes Garn Line, which is where I got the line for the lacy loops cardigan that I'm working on. They had KFO, Knitting for Olive. They had, what else? They had Malabrigo. They had Wool Dreamers. They even had Ritual Dyes, which was kind of interesting. But let me show you what I bought. So, really quickly, I don't think I brought them over here. I showed you earlier the stitch markers that I got. There were a bunch of those in a pack, but they were these little wooden stitch markers. I got those as well. But anyway, I got these skeins. I got 3 skeins of this and 3 skeins of this. So it's from the same dyer. This is Ohana Fiber Mill, made in Hawaii. This is a sport weight yarn, so I got 3 skeins of each. This is the color Clune Forest, and I'm a little bit confused because, Clune Forest, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. And then this one is Island Wool Orchid Dark is the name. But aren't those beautiful colors? Oh my gosh. So this purple color I actually bought for that same sister that I bought the soft mint KFO for, because she also didn't get to go on this vacation. She was working. So I got her 3 skeins of this. And then I decided to keep this vibrant orange for myself. No idea what I'm going to do with it yet. I was thinking I would do maybe another summer tea, but with the way my whips are shaping up, I really don't think that I'm going to try and accomplish that this summer. So this may just sit for next summer. We'll see. But I really do love the color. It's so great. And oh, let me give you the composition real quick too. It's does it even say that somewhere? I thought it did. Maybe this one says it more clearly. 100% grown and spun in Hawaii yarn. Wool is from Merino sheep crossed with Romney and Corriedale. Okay, so Merino, Romney, and Corriedale blend is what this is. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So these were the 2 acquisitions from Stitch by Stitch in Maui. I would definitely recommend following them. They have some really cute socials going on, and visit if you can. It was really cute inside. Okay, these were my 2 acquisitions from Hawaii. And then my last acquisition that I need to cover is a yarn order that has been partially filled. The rest of it had to be specially ordered, but I talked about this in my summer plans, but I want to cast on the Eve dress by La Pole. And the vision for this is that I want to wear this dress to a Broadway show when we go to New York to visit family in October. It is mid-August, so we're going in the middle of October, so I would have 2 months to do this. This yarn is the Paljet Sandnes Garn sequin yarn in the color silver gray, I believe. Color 1120, I believe it's silver gray. There's a puppy biting my foot, so if I make a weird face, it's because I'm in pain. But isn't it beautiful? It makes me so happy. I feel like everyone on my socials is knitting with sequins right now, and I just had to be a part of it. It's so pretty. But I'm going to pair this yarn with Lang Yarn's Lang Yarn Paillette. Lang Yarn's Paillette. I'll put how it's spelled. I think it's pronounced that way. I could be wrong. And I'm going to hold those together to make the dress. And I decided to do silver, not black. I did ask my partner which color he preferred, and he said black, but I just was not up to knitting a full dress in black. And I just really felt like the silver, I was so attracted to the project pages where it's silver or like the whitish silver color. So we're going with this. I'm really happy with it. So I'm just waiting for the special order Lang yarn to come in, and then I will cast this on and probably maybe monogamously knit it until we leave for New York, because I really want to finish this before we go. If I don't, I will be very sad, but I could totally see that happening. But let's not manifest that, at least here at the beginning. It could happen, but I mean, there's no reason to just count ourselves out before it's even started yet. So you got this yarn, really happy with it. I didn't even know Sandnes Garn made a sequin yarn, but I saw this on Wool & Co. and I was doing a bunch of pricing and looking up different yarn substitutes, because the yarn that's suggested on the project page for this dress, I can't get a hold of. I don't know where to get it. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Woolenhausen or something. I'll put it up on the screen, but I think you just have to go to Europe to get it, basically, because I can't get it here anyway, or I wasn't able to find it for a reasonable price. So anyway, I found this, and it comes in 3 different colors. I believe it's black, silver, and then there's like a brownish orange. So I was really happy that they had a silver, and that it's a brand that I recognize. So really excited to start this. I'll keep you guys updated on Instagram when my yarn comes in and when I cast on. This is very exciting. I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about, just really quickly, like life update wise, is again touching on the New York trip. I wanted to ask you guys' opinion. We're going to be visiting some family on my partner's side that live in New York, and it's his aunt and uncle and niece, and I feel like I've only met them once at our wedding, and I feel like it would be really meaningful if I knit the 2 women something. And I was thinking an accessory, the typical like shawl or scarf, maybe some lace work, just as a really thoughtful gift. And here's the conundrum, is that I have some stash scarves and shawlettes that I've made that I don't really wear, but I do like. And I was thinking, should I take the shortcut and gift some of those? Or should I try and pump out 2 new scarves before? Oops. Oh, puppy knocked the camera. You're crazy. She's biting my foot and playing with me right by the tripod. So, yeah, should I do that? I'll put a picture up of the 2 shawls I was thinking. It's the poet scarf that I did in Purl Soho linen quill, in the color peachy pink, or I could give away also my Celine shawl, which was a test knit, which is in perfect purple, double Sunday, and unicorn purple in KFO, soft silk mohair, and merino. Yeah, so I mean, I could just give those away, and that could just be a really easy out, or I could try and pump something out in these 2 months, but I'm just kind of worried about getting the Eve dress done in time, and that kind of is more of a priority for me. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah, tell me what you think. I mean, I do like those scarves, but I don't wear them a whole lot. So would it be better used if I just, chalked those up as a gift? Let me know your thoughts. If you like to gift knit, and, quandaries that you've come across when you need to come up with something and you have an option, but you're not sure if it's hard, because it's like you remember the time when you made it and you weren't necessarily thinking of giving it away. So it's like kind of a part of your wardrobe. I don't know. Maybe that kind of answers it. Maybe I shouldn't give them away. If I don't, then one of the scarves that I want to make then is probably going to be in the Le Petit lamb's wool, probably. Yeah. So, and then you all may be wondering, since I'm going to be in New York in October, am I going to Rhinebeck? And the answer is no, because we're only going to be there for like 4 days, and it is right when Rhinebeck is happening, but Rhinebeck is far from where we'll be staying in like Midtown Manhattan. And it's difficult to get there. It's difficult to find a place to stay this late. And really, the reason we're going out there is to fulfill family obligations. So I felt selfish asking my partner to fit that into the itinerary. So we won't be doing that this time, but I do definitely want to go one day. I think more likely, though, I will go to Flock next year since it's closer in Seattle. So if I do ever go, if I go next year, it'd be really cool if I could meet up with any of you, if you also attend any of the festivals. But yeah, I think festivals in the future, but not this year. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I have for now. Thanks for tuning in if you made it this far. Thank you for following my channel. I appreciate you being here and checking out my content and commenting and just being a part of this small space that I'm trying to create, where we can share our love of making and just all talking about knitting things. I hope you made progress on anything that you were working on, if you were working on something while you were watching this episode. I also hope that you're enjoying your summer, and that, summer's not over yet. And I hope that you will be able to accomplish everything that you wanted to in this season. And also, I hope that you're looking forward to your fall knitting plans because that is coming up, and that's really exciting to start knitting with more woolly woolly yarn. So looking forward to that. I'm really happy we got to chat together about all things knitting and life things, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next one. Sending you all the good energy and enjoy your moments. Talk to you soon. Bye.